Welcome to Stupid Things in My Head, the place where we take all those strange, irrational, and sometimes hilarious thoughts and turn them into stories. You know the ones. The what-ifs your brain whispers at 2 a.m., the imaginary disasters, the secret rituals you do, just in case. Here, nothing is too weird, nothing is too small, because all of it lives in stupid things in my head. And today's story? It's about Mia, a 25-year-old whose mind never seems to shut up. Her thoughts spiral, her what-ifs take over, and sometimes they control her day in ways even she doesn't understand. This is her story, and maybe a little bit of yours, too. Mia always loved quiet mornings. There was something comforting about sunlight spilling through her small kitchen window, the soft hum of the fridge, and the faint aroma of coffee lingering in the air. Today, everything felt calm, or at least it should have. She stood barefoot on the cold tiles, stirring a simple carrot soup. The spoon clinked softly against the pot as steam curled up around her face. It was a peaceful, mundane moment until her brain decided otherwise. Stupid brain. Don't turn off the stove yet. Leave it for exactly 3 more minutes. If you turn it off now, something bad will happen. Your dad might get into an accident. You can stop it. 3 minutes. That's all it takes. Mia froze, hand midair with the spoon dripping back into the pot. Her heart gave a small, irrational jump. She stared at the soup, boiling, harmless. She laughed quietly to herself, shaking her head. "This is ridiculous," she whispered into the empty kitchen. Stupid brain. Sure, it sounds ridiculous, but what if it isn't? What if this moment, this exact decision, is the one that changes everything? Mia swallowed hard. She wanted to dismiss it, to prove to herself that she was stronger than her thoughts. But then came the familiar tightness in her chest, that little voice growing louder with each passing second. She sighed, unlocked her phone, and set a timer. 3 minutes. The digits glowed back at her like a countdown to something monumental. She sat on the floor, knees pulled to her chest, eyes locked on the timer as it ticked down. 3 minutes had never felt so long. Her brain began weaving its cruel little movie. She saw her father's car turning a sharp corner, the wet pavement gleaming, tires squealing, a truck barreling through a red light. Impact, glass shattering, her father's phone ringing unanswered on the car floor. Mia shook her head fiercely. "Stop it," she whispered. But the images only sharpened. Stupid brain. You're doing it. You're saving him. This is your power, Mia. Just a few more seconds. She clenched her fists. 112. 111. 110. The world felt painfully quiet. Even the sound of the soup boiling seemed muffled. Her mind was too loud. Memories of her dad flashed, his laugh when he teased her about overcooking pasta, the way he always waved when leaving for work. What if this was the last time? She hated that a part of her believed it, but she couldn't risk it. Not today. Not ever. 0:45. 0:44. 0:43. Her palms were slick with sweat. She wiped them on her pajama pants and gripped her knees tighter. She counted the seconds in her head, her lips moving silently. 0:10. 0:09. 0:08. A single tear slipped down her cheek. She didn't know why she was crying. Maybe it was frustration, or exhaustion, or fear. The timer beeped. Mia leapt up, hands trembling as she turned off the stove. Steam hissed angrily. The soup had overcooked, the smell slightly burnt. Her phone buzzed. She grabbed it, her stomach tightening like a fist. Text message. "Hey, sweetheart. Stuck in traffic, but all good. Be home for dinner. Love you." Mia exhaled so deeply it almost hurt. Relief flooded her chest, warm and heavy. She smiled, a weak, crooked smile. Stupid brain. See? You did it! The world is safe because of you. Mia didn't respond. She didn't even think. She ladled the soup into a bowl, sat at her small kitchen table, and stared at it. It tasted like ash. But it didn't matter. It wasn't about the soup. It never was. It was about those 3 minutes, the weight of them, the power she thought they held. She looked at the timer still glowing faintly on her phone screen. For a moment, she wondered what would have happened if she hadn't listened. But that thought was too dangerous. For Mia, it was just another morning saved by a ritual no one else could see. But tomorrow would bring new rules. Mia didn't see the crosswalk at first. She was too busy fighting her breath, gripping the straps of her bag so tightly that her knuckles whitened. The city felt loud today, too loud. Horns blaring, shoes scuffing against the pavement, a baby crying somewhere behind her. She told herself it was just noise. But then came the thought. Stop. Don't step on the white lines yet. Count to 10. If you don't, you'll fail your driver's license exam next week. Mia froze. Her boot hovered over the first stripe. Heat rushed to her face. Not now, not here. You heard me. Don't move until you've counted. Or imagine the embarrassment, failing your test, watching everyone else drive while you're stuck. Her stomach twisted. She needed that license, for work, for her independence. She couldn't afford to fail. People brushed past her, glancing curiously at the woman standing frozen before an empty crosswalk. A man muttered something under his breath. Her heart pounded so hard it hurt. She counted. 1, 2, 3. A car honked in the distance. She jumped. A cyclist swerved past, muttering an annoyed, "Watch it." 4, 5, 6. The world seemed to blur. She felt like she was underwater, her lungs burning. What if she didn't finish? What if she ruined everything? 7, 8, 9, 10. Mia exhaled sharply, a sound halfway between relief and a sob. She stepped onto the crosswalk, boots clacking against the paint. There! Saved you from total humiliation. You're welcome. She didn't respond. Her cheeks burned with a mix of shame and anger. Anger at her mind, anger at herself for obeying. She crossed quickly, head down, but deep inside, she knew this wasn't the end. The rituals never were. Mia reached the other side of the street, her breath coming in shallow pulls, her hands still trembling from the invisible weight she carried. She hated herself for freezing back there, for counting, for listening. She walked faster, past shop windows reflecting a version of her she barely recognized, shoulders hunched, eyes darting like prey. Her thoughts tried to unravel the tension. Maybe no one noticed. Maybe she looked like she was checking her phone or tying her shoe. But a voice inside her didn't let go. Stupid brain. Of course they noticed. They always notice. But hey, you didn't fail your future test. That's worth a few stares, isn't it? Mia clenched her jaw. She tried to shake off the words, but they stuck like glue. She reached the grocery store and grabbed a basket. The fluorescent lights buzzed above her. She wandered the aisles, picking up random items. Pasta, tea, a jar of peanut butter she didn't need. Her mind felt hazy, fogged by the aftershock of the crosswalk episode. But then, stupid brain. Don't buy milk today. Last time you did on a Wednesday, you got sick the next morning. Remember? No milk. It's cursed. Mia stared at the rows of cartons. She hated how vivid the memory was. The upset stomach, the day spent curled in bed. Surely it wasn't connected. Was it? She shook her head and moved on, but her hand itched to go back. By the time she reached the checkout, her basket was half full of things she didn't plan on buying. but no milk. Outside, the air felt colder. She pulled her coat tighter and started the walk home. Her boots clicked against the pavement, rhythmic and sharp. Halfway back, she saw it again. A crosswalk, wider this time, stretching across a 4-lane intersection. Her heart rate spiked. Stupid brain. All right, new game. This time, count backwards from 20 before stepping. Otherwise, your mom's phone call tonight will bring bad news. Mia froze. Her mother called every evening to chat. What if... She gritted her jaw. This is ridiculous, she muttered, but her feet stayed planted. Is it? Or are you about to gamble with fate? She inhaled deeply and began. Mia, whispering. 20? 19? 18? Cars zoomed past, tires spraying puddles. She kept counting. 10? 9? 8? Her breath fogged the air in front of her. She could feel eyes on her again. But she didn't care. She had to finish. 3, 2, 1. The signal turned green. She stepped onto the crosswalk. Stupid brain. All right, perfect timing. Crisis averted. When she reached the other side, her phone buzzed. A text. Text from Mom. Hi, sweetheart. Just wanted to say I love you. Can't wait to hear about your day later. Mia's knees weakened. She leaned against a lamppost, clutching her phone like it was a lifeline. She knew logically there was no connection, but logic rarely won these battles. She kept walking, her steps slow now, careful, her brain already crafting the next game, the next rule. And deep down, Mia knew she would play. She always did. Mia's apartment was silent that evening, except for the faint hum of the fridge and the occasional creak of old pipes. She had returned from her walk feeling hollow, her body tired from the errands and her mind exhausted from battles no one else could see. After the sidewalk incident earlier, her chest still felt tight. The counting, the staring eyes of strangers, the voice that wouldn't stop whispering, everything had left her drained. But tonight, she told herself she would rest. Just one quiet night. She brushed her teeth in slow circles, staring at her reflection in the dim bathroom light. Her face looked pale, her eyes heavy. She avoided meeting her own gaze for too long, afraid of what she might find there. She switched off the bathroom light and padded to her bedroom. Her phone buzzed on the nightstand. Another text from her mother. Good night, sweetheart. Sleep well. Heart. Mia smiled faintly, setting the phone down. Then she pulled her comforter back and sat on the edge of the bed. Stupid brain. Don't turn the bedroom light off yet. Not like that. You need to flick it on and off 3 times first. If you don't, the apartment might catch fire in the middle of the night. Mia froze, hand hovering near the switch. She clenched her teeth. Mia, whispering. No, not this. Not tonight. Stupid brain. Insistent. Are you sure? Because if it happens, if you wake up to smoke and flames, don't say I didn't warn you. She squeezed her eyes shut. Logic screamed at her. Lights don't cause fires. This was nonsense. But her chest burned with a familiar fear, one that wouldn't let go. She reached out and flicked the switch. On, off. Stupid brain. Again. She flicked it. On, off. Stupid brain. Once more. You didn't feel it click right that time. On, off, on, off. She let out a shaky breath and climbed into bed, pulling the covers tight around her. But as she lay there, her mind began to spiral. Stupid brain. What if you didn't do it right? What if you didn't flick fast enough? Or too fast? Maybe the universe didn't register it. Mia's eyes flew open, her stomach churned, a bead of sweat rolled down her temple. She threw off the blanket and stood. Narrator. The ritual started again. On, off, on, off, on, off. Each flick louder in the still apartment. Mia, please, please, let this be enough. But it wasn't. The voice whispered again. Stupid brain. Once more. You didn't feel it click right that time. By the 10th cycle, her fingers ached, her breath came in short gasps, her chest felt like it was collapsing. She stood there trembling in the dark, the light switch cold under her damp fingertips. She hated herself for this, hated that she couldn't stop, but she couldn't risk it, not tonight. She crawled back into bed, pulling the covers over her head like a shield. Tears stung her eyes as her body shook with silent sobs. This wasn't living, it was surviving, and Mia didn't know how much longer she could do it. If we kept talking about Mia's life, the rituals, the whispers, the stupid things in her head, we'd be here forever. Because the truth is, this was nothing. Just the basics, the warm-up. Her mind holds darker corners, stranger rules, and fears so raw they might make your skin crawl. But we'll save those for next time, only for those brave enough to subscribe. Because in the next episodes, we'll go deeper into Mia's world, and maybe into yours. And here's the thing, Mia isn't special, not really. We all have stupid thoughts like these. The quiet what if that pops up out of nowhere, the rituals we don't talk about, the silent rules we follow so life feels safe. But here's a secret, you don't have to believe them. Start small, ignore one whisper, resist one ritual, and when your brain screams at you, something bad will happen, breathe. Watch the bad thing not happen. Over time, you'll see your thoughts aren't commands, they're just noise. But until then, tell us, have you ever had thoughts like Mia's? Did you listen, or did you fight back? Share in the comments, because the next story might just be about someone like you. And if you haven't subscribed yet, you'll want to. The next episode, it's not just unsettling, it's terrifying. This has been Stupid Things in My Head, and we're only getting started.